Hello, everyone! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you don't miss my upcoming literature explanations. Today, I am going to explain a beautiful and thoughtful poem by Robert Frost, titled A Boundless Moment. Before we go to the line-by-line explanation, let me first give you the background, theme, and main idea of the poem. This poem describes a small but meaningful moment outdoors during early spring, specifically March. The poet and a man notice something pale and strange far away in the maple trees. For a moment, they imagine it might be something magical, like a blooming tree or spring arriving early. But soon they discover the truth. It is only a young beech tree holding on to last year's pale leaves. The main idea of the poem is that our imagination often tricks us, especially when we want something beautiful or hopeful. Now let's explain it line by line. He halted in the wind, and what was that? In this opening line, Robert Frost is saying that there was man who suddenly stops walking because something in the distance catches his eye. The wind is blowing, and yet he notices something unusual that makes him pause. Are you getting the point? Actually, the phrase, "what was that?" shows confusion or surprise. It creates a sense of mystery about what he saw. Simply, it means the man stopped in the windy weather because something strange caught his attention, and then says, "Far in the maples, pale but not a ghost." This means the man sees something light-colored far away among the maple trees. It looks pale enough to seem ghost-like, but the poet immediately tells us it's not a ghost. The pale object appears mysterious from a distance. This shows how something simple in nature can look unusual when viewed from far away. Simply, it means he sees something pale in the trees that looks strange but is not a ghost. He stood there bringing March against his thought. This means the man tries to remind himself that it is still March, a time when trees are bare and flowers do not bloom. His imagination wants to believe the pale thing might be something magical, but he uses the fact that it's March to keep himself realistic. He is fighting between imagination and reality. Simply, it means he tries to control his thoughts by remembering it is too early for spring flowers, and yet too ready to believe the most. This means he is still willing to believe something wonderful, even if it is unlikely. His mind wants to accept the best possible explanation. It shows that people sometimes want to believe in beauty, even when logic tells them not to. Simply, it means he is too quick to believe in something magical. "Oh, that's the paradise in bloom," I said. Robert Frost now suggests that the pale thing might be a beautiful flowering tree, something like paradise blooming. The phrase makes it sound heavenly or special. He is allowing imagination to play a role. In other words, you can say, it means he guesses it might be a magical blossoming tree, and then says, "And truly it was fair enough for flowers." This means the object looked beautiful enough to be mistaken for flowers. Even though it was not flowers, its pale and delicate appearance made it look lovely. It shows how the natural scene could easily trick someone. To make it simpler, it means it looked beautiful enough to be confused with flowers. Had we but in us to assume in March. This means they could have believed it was flowers, if they had enough imagination inside them. The poet says that imagination is needed to believe something unusual in March. He hints that sometimes people lack the ability to pretend or imagine. Simply, it means if they were more imaginative, they could accept the illusion. Such white luxuriance of May for ours. This line shows that the pale object looked like the rich white flowers that normally appear in May. May is the month filled with blossoms and beauty. The poet wishes this March scene had the same beauty. Simply, it means it looked like the full blooms usually seen in May. And then says, "We stood a moment so in a strange world." It indicates that the poet and the man stood there for a moment, feeling like they were in a magical or unreal place. Their imagination made the moment feel different from reality. It shows how a simple scene can make someone feel transported. Simply, it means they paused and felt like they were in another world. Myself as one his own pretense deceives. Now the poet realizes he has fooled himself with his imagination. He pretended the pale object was something wonderful, and he almost believed his own idea. He admits he tricked himself. In simple words, you can say, it means the poet deceived himself by believing his own imagination, and then says, and then I said the truth and we moved on. In this line, Robert Frost finally tells the real explanation and stops imagining. After saying the truth, they continue walking. This shows how quickly a magical moment can end. Simply, it means he tells the truth and they move forward. A young beech clinging to its last year's leaves. This final line reveals the truth. The pale object was only a young beech tree still holding onto last year's old leaves. These pale, dry leaves looked white from far away, causing the confusion. The moment of imagination turns into a simple, natural explanation. Simply, it means it was just a beech tree with last year's leaves. So, the poem teaches us that sometimes our imagination makes ordinary things look magical. Robert Frost shows that even small moments in nature can reveal how our mind works. If you enjoyed this explanation, please like, comment, and subscribe for more poetry lectures in simple, clear language. Thank you for watching.